Tonight from Fernwood, Fernwood Tonight, 30 minutes of remarkable entertainment, coming to you live with your host for tonight, Mr. Garth Gimble. Tonight, Bart's guest will be William W.D. Bud Prize, with a proposal to make Fernwood an X-rated community. Mr. Philip Maltby, who claims that his pants are innocent, and Happy Kind and the Mirth Makers. And me, I'm Jerry Hubbard. And now here's your host and mine, Mr. Garth Gimble.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Fernwood Tonight. My name is Garth Gimble. Thank you, okay. I come to you tonight, I think, a sadder but a little bit wiser Garth Gimble. I'm sure that you all are more than aware of the wonderful plans we've been putting together so painstakingly for the first annual Garth Gimble Pro-Am Golf Classic Tournament. Now I'm afraid you're going to be just as, well, as painfully aware of something else. It's canceled. Oh. Hey, lighten up. I'm with you, folks. I am with you. I'd have liked nothing better than to have been the Bing Crosby of Ohio, but not unlike Mr. Crosby, Bingle himself, I, too, have lost hope. That's not your fault, though. You generous people of Fernwood, you agreed with me that big-time golf in a small-town atmosphere was well worth the $50 a pop we were charging, and you helped me to amass what, to most of us who work for a living, I think constitutes a small fortune in prize monies. But apparently, our nation's touring pros think an $800 purse is something to sneeze at, or in. Well, no wonder they're touring. Who would want people with that mentality staying in their town for more than a weekend? Golf is supposed to be a gentleman's sport, but if that's the case, then why would Chichi Rodriguez be so rude as to suggest that we take our prize money and place it in our 19th hole? I didn't think that was too nice. Hey, but let's not wallow in the sand trap. There is a bright side. We've got the $800. And unlike those so-called athletes, I'm not so much of a snob to turn my nose up at 800 big ones. I did a job. I did it the best I could. And when a job is well done, it should be paid for. Yeah, I've learned a great lesson, I think, and I'll be applying what I've learned towards the Garth Gimble Memorial Tennis Classic, which is now in the planning stages. Yeah, we've contacted the William Morris Agency in order to get a hold of Jimmy Connors, and it's common knowledge that Arthur Ashe loves the game, so I think we're in business. Advance sale tickets are available at $75 a pop, and we're looking forward to your support, okay?
And that's in honor of your late brother Garth, so he would have wanted it this way.
Oh, I'm sure he would have. And he would have made it 85.
That's right. He would have understood that little inflationary hike in prices. And incidentally, everyone here at the station is behind you in this whole mess that you got into at the golf tournament. I couldn't help overhearing them coming up. They're really admiring the way you hung on here, persevered. Jerry. They're speaking about you in only the most glowing terms, really.
Oh, Jerry, what can I say? That's just terrific.
What does chutzpah mean?
I believe that means courage, Jerry. It's a Muslim word, and it means courage. Okay. We'll be right back after these important words. Stay with us.
Learn how to do it yourself on TV 12's new how-to lineup. Starting at 8, stretch yourself into shape and relaxation with Lilius, Yoga, and You. Then at 8:30, discover the creative art.
Thank you, Happy. Happy Kind and the Mirth Makers. Let's hear it, Frank.
When he plays, it's music to my ears.
Absolutely. It's supposed to be, I think.
Yeah.
Our next guest has been with us before. He is the ambassador at large here for Fernwood, and allegedly in connection with the Chamber of Commerce here. Every time he comes on the show, it's kind of exciting. We talk about different things like the energy crisis and bringing industry to Fernwood.
Got a lot of comments on those things.
Wonderful. Let's please welcome all of us, as if we cared, Mr. William W.D. Bud Prize.
gosh, you sure stirred up a furor the last couple times.
Yeah, I tell you, I've been busier than a monkey without a tail.
Oh, that's great.
Just going all over the state, you know, tooting Fernwood's horn, proclaiming of its beauties and appeal and all like that.
Well, you've been making a bit of noise right here on the show. As I was telling the people earlier, we've discussed energy crisis, and you had some wonderful ideas for conserving energy. We also talked about bringing industry right here to Fernwood, and you wouldn't believe the stack of mail we got. And we thought maybe to just inflate your ego a little bit, you might like to hear some of the responses.
Well, yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Okay, this won't take a second. You can share in this with us, I think. The first person writes, I was very interested in your speaker who advocated bringing new industry to Fernwood. One question comes to my mind, however. After seeing him speak, what is that device he wears on his chin? That's kind of interesting.
Here you have we got a lot of these. We just picked out a few. Your recent energy advocate, Mr. William W.D. Budd Prize, you got your name and everything, brought out some interesting ideas. But what's that thing he wears around his face? It looks like a wiffle ball held on by a garter.
Here's one, Mr. Budd Prize. They apparently know you pretty well. Mentions new locations for industry here in Fernwood. How about building a factory under that chin of his?
Some people don't enter.
I'm used to it. I'm used to it. Just rolls right off my back like a duck.
Here's one. Who was that imbecile on your show with the athletic supporter around his head? You gotta separate the chaff from the grain here, wheat from the grain or whatever.
So at any rate,
yeah, see, that's it. That's what makes me mad. Now, every time I've been on the show twice, haven't I?
Yeah.
And both times I was on this show, I told the people what this was on my chin. You see, that's what makes me mad. Is people that doesn't tune in a show like this at the very beginning like that. I say, watch TV, get off the pot.
Let's just cut through all the flack here. Let's get right down to it and just kind of bring this thing out in the open. I'm kind of curious myself. What is that thing on your chin?
Well, you's right here. I told you, and you's right here. Well, this is a device for, I don't know, you've probably noticed, did I have a slight underbite?
Well, I can see better, of course, from here.
I had this slight underbite. I've had it since I was a child and had the usual problems as a child because I also had just a continual case of ringworm. So I spent my time, you know, most of the time, you know, with my chin jutting out like this and all the kids making fun of it and wearing my mother's stocking on my head.
Just wrap around, sir.
Wait out. I am walking along the street one day and I see this, I'm by the new development. And I see this man, you know, and he's up on the roof and he's doing tuck pointing.
Okay, well, first of all, what is tuck pointing? I don't think we all know here.
Well, tuck pointing, it's like tuck pointing. It's when you it's tuck pointing.
Okay, I guess we all know now. So.
That's not the point of the story. Here's the exciting part. So I'm standing there, I'm watching this guy. So he looks down at me and sees down there and says, "Hey, Lantern Jaw."
Whoa.
Okay, it is serious.
Boy, you can just imagine how hot I got, because I get hot. So I says a couple of things to him, and he starts to climb down. I says, "Come on down here." He starts to climb down, see? That's when I seen he had a twinkle in his eye. And he says, "I've seen cases of your kind and description, and believe me, there's nothing that is that permanent about your condition." So he started telling me about this man's name. It's Cletus Emmett Wheelwelker. Cletus Emmett Wheelwelker. Now, this is a fascinating character, the most fascinating man I've ever met in my entire life. Born in Elizabeth, New Jersey, of poor parentage, next to the Singer Sewing Machine Company. And this boy had nothing to play with but the discarded spools from Singer Sewing Machine.
He called you Lantern Jaw. How high up was he? I mean, you must have had quite a case at that time if he was up on top of a building.
Well, I was steaming. It took him a while to get down there, and I was steaming.
He was way up there.
Well, he was up there. Well, we shared a sandwich. It was his lunchtime. We shared a sandwich. I went out, got a couple of knee highs, and we started talking. And you know,
your jaw came around that corner before you did, eh?
He started. We starts talking about all of these things that he's did in his life. He unfortunately lost a leg very early in his lifetime.
Oh, boy.
And this boy glued together spools and made him a wooden stumpy leg all out of discarded spools. Painted each one of them a different color, red, white, and blue, red, white, and blue. And then red, white. Let's go down to the ground.
So the older he got, the more patriotic he got. Really. Just kept...
That's absolutely true. Well, he left Lisbeth, New Jersey, took to the road, very young age. He was all over. First man to find gold in Honolulu. Went to Washington, D.C., done all kind of top-secret spy work on flying saucers, which is real hush-hush, but there you are.
Sure. And you're probably very self-conscious wearing this device, but really you don't
Oh, no,
notice
before I was.
Yeah.
I felt like a fool before.
Well, you know, you're self-conscious.
Now, you know, anybody who looks at me knows I'm doing something about the handicap.
Absolutely.
If they even notice the device, really.
That's right.
Well, you're in your second year of wearing it now, William.
Yeah, well, you know, he just does chinadontia. You know, all them other things he does. Well, he's a fascinating man. You know, he's greyhounding on his way to Gary, Indiana. Cletus was. And got off at Fernwood, said, this is a real nice town. Had him a Brussels sprout layout out by the highway, and then there was the blight of 67. Well, the sprouts never come back right. And closed up the stand on the highway and everything, and just began doing...
Same fellow that went off up to the Dakotas there and was dealing with that retirement village in Mount Rushmore, Rio Rushmore. Is that it?
Absolutely correct.
Putting the housing unit in the nostrils of the various presidents. Said it was open space. Why not? It's away from the wind. Why not live and work under the very noses of some of the greatest Americans who ever lived?
He was going in there with one of them big drills, and he's going to clean out all them sinus passages.
You had to blow that whole thing right out, though, because I remember the government put its foot down on that, yeah.
You get apartments up in the sinus cavities and everything there. It's a shame it didn't work out.
Well, they do it in the Statue of Liberty. I don't know
Swimming
why
pools go right down the bridge of the nose. It was great for the kids, but nothing.
Just out of interest, for other listeners who might be carrying around a basketball under their lower lip like you are, how long does this have to stay on there? Is it almost off?
8 years, give or take a month or two.
Including the two?
I want to tell you something. The moment I take this baby off, it's going to be right on this show.
Wow.
Okay. I don't care about Merv. I don't care about Johnny. I don't care about... Well, I do care about Dinah. I do care about Dinah. She's a big bone woman. I love a big bone woman.
Oh, she's...
She don't know me from Adams, you know. So, you know.
Okay, let's hope we're still here in 8 years.
Probably say, who's he?
Hey,
Yeah.
what the HE double hockey sticks, huh?
Yeah.
It's great talking to you again. It always has been.
We didn't get a chance to get into this energy situation.
I come out, boy,
You were also
I start to
jealous.
talking, you know, and I can talk your donkey's leg off.
Yes.
And we didn't get into the factory closing nor the fluoride in the water, nor nothing like that.
What was this gentleman's name again? I forget his name.
Cletus Emmett Wheelwelker.
Sounds like he had a very exciting life. Very interesting life.
Really exciting. Fascinating.
Where is he now?
Well, you know, he's here now, and this device here was made in his garage. Now, believe it or not, this man, we're like this now. You know, we've become real close.
Again. I just wanted to
So, yeah, we've become real close, and there is portions of that garage that is off limits even to me.
Is that right? More
Locked
spool works?
tighter than a drum.
More spool works? He's
Well, it's top secret work that's being did for somebody. I don't know. I wouldn't even conjecture about it.
Well, I guess as we think about this, it's probably only really interesting to us and Mr. Willwacker himself, so we'll be right back after these words. Thanks, Happy. You know, recently here on the show, a medical researcher brought along some very dramatic evidence that proved convincingly that those extremely comfortable and somewhat good-looking leisure suits cause cancer. If you remember, he showed us a test case of 100 rats who wore the double knits for a full year and then suddenly just took lunch. Well, Channel 6 has a policy of offering equal time for opposing viewpoints. Consequently, here with a rebuttal to Dr. Van Moot, you remember him, and we won't go into it. Dr. Van Moot's medical research into cancer-causing leisure suits. We have a rebuttal. Philip Maltby, that's Philip Maltby from Phil's Fashion Funwear. Almost got your name wrong there. And
Oh, no, Philip Maltby is it. Maltby's.
Okay. Mulpey's the name, leisure suit's the game.
Yeah,
huh?
exactly right.
That's great.
Exactly right.
You said it looked kind of natty in your little leisure suit there, but according to Dr. Van Moot's research, you're courting disaster. I give you about an hour and a half.
Well, I'm not afraid, Barth. I'm not afraid a bit. Indeed, I wore the leisure suit today for that very purpose, to show that I am not scared of this illegitimate threat that he's thrown out here. Believe me, every leisure suit that I sell wouldn't hurt a fly.
Well, I think there's 100 rats that would like to disagree with you on that.
Well, that's exactly right, but all I have to say to that is, so what? I mean, a bunch of rats keel over, what does that mean? Maybe you shouldn't buy a leisure suit for your rat. But besides that, these are laboratory rats. These are animals that have been trained for generations to simulate human symptoms. Perhaps some of them were just trying to please the researcher, maybe. Besides, maybe they were smoking, watching television, drinking Diet Cola, cooking their food in little microwave ovens.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd keel over from any of that, whether or not they were wearing leisure suits.
Yeah, that's possibly true.
Yes. Well, the thing is, Barth, that you can prove anything if you assemble some facts. I mean, for example, you could make a pretty good case for the idea that fezzes cause brain damage. You know, from convention behavior. You know, you make a bunch of little fezzes and put it on 100 rats, and I guarantee you, within a week, those rats aren't going to remember their own name, let alone be able to read it right. They're going to be dropping water bombs on the hamsters, you know, going after the canaries with cattle prods. Sure. Prove anything.
Checking into hotels in Philadelphia.
Exactly, getting their own.
Then you don't know what caused the death.
It's true.
Pretty strong statements, though, and can't help but say that after hearing Dr. Van Moot's evidence, I'm still not going to take my own life in my hands and buy a complete wardrobe of these things down at your wonderful store.
Barth, come along. I'm living proof, aren't I? This is a leisure suit, leisure shirt. I'm wearing leisure underwear. These are leisure shoes. At night I go to bed in leisure pajamas, and I'm as healthy as a horse.
Never had any heart trouble?
No, I haven't, Jerry.
No liver infections or...
No, very good there.
No asthma?
No asthma.
No tendinitis?
Jerry?
No.
Excuse me, former athlete.
Yes.
Phil, the fact of the matter is that Dr. Van Moot came in with actual medical research. And so far, all you've really given us is an advanced look at this year's fashion report.
Yes, well, I've got some facts. I have some facts, and I think you'll agree that these doctors are looking out for some way to aggrandize their own income, some kind of way to get publicity for themselves. I think that's motivating them. The facts I'm talking about are the facts that we all know, that the cells of our body are in a rhythmic, harmonious relationship with one another in a healthy person. Sickness is just another name for the condition in which some of the cells get out of rhythm with the other cells. They're listening to a different drummer, as it were.
So you're saying sort of almost the rhythm method is a way to health. That's kind of interesting.
Yes, well, you see, the weave in the leisure suits is in interlocking circles, and when sunlight strikes through that, or indeed sound waves come through it, it exercises a soothing and a calming and a harmonizing influence on those renegade cells and brings them back into harmony with the body as a whole and creates a state of soothing health.
Almost puts the cells become so relaxed they almost have should we speak more quietly? I guess we should. You know, all this.
Bud, we're doing a show here.
Look at the look on his face. Wide awake.
I have to stay awake. You have to, too.
It's all right. Don't you ever do it again.
I'm embarrassed. No, it's, I understand these little
We could
sugar
always-
lift there.
Time to get out.
No, I'd like...
Quite serious, I'm rather interested in this, and you were talking about... Had to do with suits, don't tell me.
Yes.
Oh, boy. Something about getting sick in suits. That's why you were here.
Yes, well, no, suits get you well, actually. Suits get you well. They do get you well. We discovered this. I didn't just come across this. It was because of my mother. My mother. She was in deep trouble. We tried everything, and as a last resort, we popped her into a 34 long there, left her for about a week. Complete remission. She's jumping up and down, knitting, complaining, just as usual.
Just hold on. Are you going so far as to say that leisure suits don't cause cancer. You go so far as to say they cure cancer?
Barth, I'm not going to rule that out. But we have a research team working day and night in a back room down at Phil's Fashion Funwear on exactly this problem. These are men with advanced degrees in fashion medicine, and I'd like to tell you that I feel my responsibilities in this area very, very strongly, and that's why I am donating 10 cents out of every single Leisure Suit dollar to support this research team. And they're working right now, even as we speak, trying to find evidence to support the idea that leisure suits enhance and improve health.
And you sell those suits at almost cost, too, don't you?
Absolutely, absolutely.
This is no picnic for you. You're really...
Yes, I appreciate your mentioning that, Jerry, but I am an entrepreneur.
That's what you had this earlier. This is a photograph of your mother wearing a leisure suit here. Can we all see that? That's for sure.
She's got a nice smile.
Well, I guess for all of you out there, that must be proof. Sounds exciting. Not only exciting, it sounds profitable. I believe in that kind of stuff. I'm sure that we'll all want to come down and visit you at Phil's Fashion Funwear and Medical Center. Is that what you're calling it?
Exactly.
Research lab? That's great. We'll be right back after these words. Stay with us. Of course. Well, we're back, and it's amazing how time flies when you're working for scale. So, we just have a few minutes here to thank my regulars, him, and also my special guest, Philip Maltby, from Maltby's Fun Fashion Funwear. Is that it?
It's Phil's Fashion Funwear, Barth.
Okay. Best of luck with it, and also William W.D. Bud Prize, who had a very big day today, and apparently we'll have a big one tomorrow. That's about it. Good night.
Kenneth Mars as Mr. William W.D. Bud Prize.